everyone, Gavin Lance, top eye here. I'm with Ben Anderson all the way from North Queensland. Mate, thanks for jumping on today. Tell us, what was life like prior to the Man Alive experience, the mentorship?
It's a hard one to describe, Gav. Horrible, actually, to be honest. Headspace was, not good, not good. And I think honestly, and I 100%, if you hadn't reached out when you had, I don't know whether I would be talking to you right now. I really don't.
Yeah.
It was just about as rock bottom as I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. And I suppose, mate, how did that affect, like when you say rock bottom, what does that mean? How was the family? How was your health?
Look, health was woeful, alcohol, drugs, business was failing, miserable. Family life was terrible. I wasn't present. Even when I was present, I wasn't switched on enough to cope with anything. So everything, it was just a huge snowball of negativity. It was, Okay, I find it really difficult to articulate because it just feels like it was so long ago now.
Yeah. Well, a year ago, mate. So, mate, what happened? What happened? Did you read one of my books, or what happened? What was the change?
I've been doing the whole personal. Well, look, I tell myself I've been doing the whole personal growth thing for many years, but it's basically been spiritual fiction. I had the mentality, and I'm pretty sure a hell of a lot of people do. If I read this, everything will change. As long as I have the knowledge, it'll all be good. Life will just fall into place. And, at the end of the day, the only thing that changes that is taking action, but from all of that, the your name, your book came up in the feed on Facebook, I think it was, a couple of times. And I had a quick look at it and not bad. I get quite a few of them. I sort of glazed over it a couple of times, and I ended up clicking on it. I read right through to the end of the blurb on the page, and it was sort of touching on everything that was going on in my life. And I just thought, well, look, at the end of the day, it's an ebook. Give it a go. See what it tells you. But having said that, in the back of my mind, I'm going, it's just another book you're going to read and you're going to do nothing with, mate.
Yeah.
Ended up purchasing that, and your one of your team, somebody had sent through an email. I was getting emails saying, book a call. I think I did get onto you at one stage, but we couldn't make it. I couldn't sort of find the time to make the interview and to do the initial conversation, and then we did. And it was as soon as you'd sort of explained it, you did the life wheel, where you're at, the circle, and that sort of, when you held that up to the screen, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought it looked like, and I really need to do something about this, and it was, as you said, I think I sort of went away from that thinking, well, because at the same time you're doing the rite of passage as well on the Gold Coast, and I'd come away from it initially. We'd talk dollars and cents, and I wasn't really in a financial position, or at least I thought I was telling myself. And spoke to my wife about it, and my wife said, you said the same thing, and you'd sort of said, what's it going to cost you if you don't do this? Where you're heading, it's not good, and I've seen it 100 times, and I'd sort of said, my wife said almost exactly the same thing, and she said, well, look, at the end of the day, why don't you at least go to the rite of passage, see what it's about, and figure it out from there, which is exactly what I did. And the whole process was just 100% life change. I got no. I don't. Sounds like a cliche, but I don't know what else to say. There's no other way of putting it.
So since then, mate, the last 12 months, what's been some highlights? What's stood out to you?
Good highlights. Look, just from doing the work, I spent the first probably 6 months. I wouldn't say half-heartedly doing it, but not consistently doing it.
Yeah,
and just picking up bits and pieces. There were subtle mindset changes, along the way that sort of, there were a few penny drops here and there that kind of gave me a bit of hope, and kind of gave me a little bit more motivation to continue the work and be a bit more consistent with it. And ironically, I found the more consistent I was with it, the better things worked out. Funny that, hey. The biggest one, I think I think I've mentioned to you a couple of times. The biggest penny drop was for me personally was a couple of months ago. There was a Zoom meeting which I missed, ironically, but thank you very much for recording those meetings, because if I'd missed them, I don't know that I would have had this breakthrough. But there was information. There was something about the way you worded a certain piece of information there that I'd heard 100 times before, but the way you'd articulated it, it dropped like a ton of bricks out of the sky, you know, and it completely changed, completely shifted the paradigm, negative paradigm, you know, like I'd never looked at how I utilize my skills in a work environment or person. I'd never analyzed, never thought about it, you know, and once I put the spotlight on, it just started shining in every direction, and I was finding these little pieces and little snippets of joy and magic in everything that was going on. And it's just, that is not something I don't even remember feeling like that as a kid, you know. It was just, I'm sure there was in you know, my very early years, but you know, since my parents' divorce and whatnot, they're definitely not, you know. And it was just, it was a complete and utter life changer, you know. Like so, even my wife had said to me, she said, look, what's going on with you? And I'd sort of explained it to her. You know, that because there's a running gag between her and I. She'd said to me for years, she said, you know, I knew this when I hooked up with you. You know, initially, she said, you've always been very much a glass is half empty. When things get tough, everything snowballs, and it's all too hard and negative. And you know, and so I'd sort of said to her, I said, I said, I don't know what else to say to you, baby. I said, the glass is half full. Really simple, you know. And there was a split second there. I thought she was going to run across the room and crack me in the jaw.
So mate, with the different things that we do, all that, you know, I suppose the process that we go through in Kajabi, the videos, the questions, I mean, the accountability groups, the Zoom calls, mate. I suppose what's, you know, obviously the other men in the group, what's been, I suppose, a highlight, do you think?
Look, I couldn't put a single highlight on it, mate. It's the collective, you know. It's the collective. The Kajabi videos are the Kajabi videos. I think that the course in the Kajabi is the catalyst for the whole lot of it. And watching, like, you've got your own thoughts, but watching the guys doing the live videos in the Facebook group, and you know, talking to them in the accountability groups, and you sort of get a much clearer picture that you're not the only one going through things, and taking on other people's perspectives as well. You know, you know, there's been comments. You know, I couldn't even name a single one of them. There's just so many of them, and there's some really amazing blokes. Some of the guys that are running through for their second year, especially, you know, they're leaps and bounds ahead. You know, and it's and watching their perspective on everything, their motivation, the level of motivation and passion they're coming to everything with is just, it's contagious. You can't help but get into it. You know, it's amazing.
Well, that's what we always say, isn't it? Environment's stronger than willpower.
Absolutely, 100%. And that, look, 1,000,000% in my case, mate, because my willpower up until starting this course was virtually zero. You know? It really was.
No, it's awesome, mate. And I suppose, mate, there's going to be men that are going to watch this and go, wow, I feel like I was like Ben back then, but I want to be like Ben now. What's your best advice for those men?
Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. If you're feeling stuck, and I mean to any degree, if you're feeling stuck, you can't put there's no price on what you will get out of this course. 100. There's no price. There's no price for it. It is absolutely 100% life changing. No two ways about it. You know.
Good man. Awesome, mate. Terrific. Thanks for coming on. Say, hey, listen. Leave me a comment. Encourage Ben. You got any questions? I'm sure Ben will reach out and be able to answer it. I'll answer it.
For sure.
Hey, thanks for coming on today, mate.
My pleasure, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it, Gavin.
Over and out.